Welcome to the Burning Pallets Podcast, sponsored by Texsource. Here's your host, Brian Boland.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Ryan here with the Burning Pallets Podcast in the M&R booth. Mike Coey to my right.
Hey, everybody.
And Sam in our middle. He's actually in the booth with us, not with us, but live printing at the trade show. I'll let you introduce yourself. Let us know where you're from, company name.
My name's Samuel Lapcevic, and my company is Branded Threads out of 84, Pennsylvania.
Very well known. He does videos, and you've probably seen his zombie video out there. It was like a zombie screen printing video, right?
Yep.
I mean, is that back during 2020, or it was like when everybody was zombie type deal?
No, we do the Halloween video every year.
Oh, yeah, Halloween.
Yeah.
God, that was stupid.
No, it's okay.
So you do it every year?
Yeah, that's the plan.
So how did you get in the industry, for one? The second thing is, where did you start with what kind of equipment? And number three, why did you choose M&R? I mean, that's a couple good questions. We all know why people choose M&R, but
Right.
just...
Everybody's got their own personal journey.
Yeah.
You obviously have a relationship.
Yeah.
It's a little closer with M&R.
You
a
do-
little bit.
They're fans of you.
Yeah.
They bring you in, you do a lot of live printing and stuff for them. So anyways.
Okay, so how I got started in the industry is I started a clothing brand first in 2017, and I had no idea how to screen print. I know I wanted to start a clothing brand, but I was missing the essential piece of how to screen print. So I went to a class, and it was like a 3-day class, learned how to screen print, and they had like kits for sale. The kit was $8,000. When I came home, I had $10,000 to my name, and I spent $8,000 of it on the
Oh,
equipment.
Lord.
Yeah, so I really went all in.
And a bunch of ramen.
Yeah, right. So I bought the equipment and just the knowledge from those 3 days and a lot of YouTube. And I learned how to print. Started water-based printing manually on just a 4x1 station. Eventually just kept reinvesting into the business. Went to a 2-station 4-head press, and then I went to a 6x6 Chameleon and an M&R Chameleon.
Yeah.
And then from there I went to a 6.4 just for like size constraints. And since then, it's been about a year and a half now, going on 2 years that I've been printing auto, and then I have a brand new press coming in within this month.
Oh, that's got to be exciting. So
Very
what's the brand new press?
I went with the M&R Copperhead Rival. It's a 1210.
Yeah.
I'm currently on an
man.
8.6, so that's going to be
Wow, that'll be
difference.
huge.
What was the 8.6 auto? What is?
It's an M&R Diamondback.
So you got the Diamondback still, obviously.
Yeah.
And then now you're the Rival, Copperhead Rival.
Mm-hmm.
Got all kinds of questions, but from 2017 to 2024, I mean, that's manual to 2 autos. That's a pretty good quick.
Well, not to toot my own horn, but it's actually from 2019 because the first 2 years it was just a clothing brand. That's it.
Okay.
And then I started my screen printing company in 2019.
Nice.
Actually, so I've only been actually printing for like other customers for 4 years.
Do you have any niche side of the business, how you got in, or you just have the local customers and you're expanding? So
Yeah, I have a lot of local customers. I coach wrestling, so
Nice.
I have that market.
that was wrestling as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I wrestled in college, and I've coached now for 11 years actually. So
So have you printed some singlets?
no singlets. Those are mostly sublimated.
Yeah.
They'll start to crack and stuff. The printed ones. So.
Your question yesterday with somebody, do you remember your first T-shirt you printed? And you answered, the other guy answered, and then I answered. My first little job that I did was my wrestling team. My 10th grade, you say 10th, 11th, 12th grade, I would screen print hoodies, sweatpants, the beanies. I'd put the weights on the sleeves. Anyways, we could talk about wrestling too.
Yeah, so what was your first, it's one thing to take a class and you print their stuff, but
sure.
what was the first one you printed? Was it like something that wasn't even for sale? It was like, I'm just doing this.
It was for my brand, yeah. It's called Be the Wandering, and I donate 50% to mental health research. So that was the first thing I ever printed. Really, to me, the magic was exposing my first screen. I was oh my God, it worked. Yeah.
That's still, I tell people that when we do
Yeah.
classes, the magic of developing a screen,
100%.
it's similar to me to what happens with discharge, where you start with this muted thing.
Comes through the dryer.
And it comes through, and you're like, wow,
Right.
the contrast.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, even when I was running a shop and we had customers touring,
Mm-hmm.
I would always go back to the screen room, to show them this is the magical part, I would say.
Right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, so the first time I ever even, so I had an exposure unit. That was part of the kit I bought, but it was out of my mom's house, so I actually did it in the bathtub, the washout.
Yeah, I've done that.
Like,
did you have the shower head extender so you could get
down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I had to upgrade my shower and get one that I could get down there.
Right.
And then my wife said, this is not going to work. Go back to the washer and hook up. I homemade a washout booth.
Yep.
Because she's like, this is our bathtub, and you got this crap, this
pink stuff everywhere.
Yeah,
right.
Well, yeah, it was blue, I think that's what I had, but it was all clogging the drain and stuff.
So you, what class did you go to, or was it
was one of the Ryonet classes that they had, yeah.
So
pre-made lab.
Yeah. So you got their kit. What brought you to M&R? Like why M&R?
I knew about like the brand and everybody. I mean, it's the industry standard still. Like Facebook and all the chat forums and everything. I just heard M&R.
Blue.
Exactly. Yeah, Blue Crew. And then once I got the first piece of equipment, I was like, oh, I understand. Yeah.
It's what all the cool kids have, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And you got the Cruiser, right? You started with that, or you had the package.
I had the Chameleon.
The Chameleon.
Yeah,
Okay.
Chameleon, yeah.
Now the Chameleon to me is a more like in the big industry, like at Adidas. That was our kind of our sample press.
Okay.
Right. It's beefy. It's
heavy.
It's heavy.
Yeah,
it's heavy. I wouldn't want to print 1,000 shirts. You probably did it.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm so interested in the Cruiser, and I'm hoping they just go ahead and just ship that to us, that Cruiser there, because you get the registration system.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've done a lot of manual printing, so the Cruiser, that's great, press.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's still like, the way to describe it is it's still like the same. It's not as robust as the Chameleon. It's not as heavy, Yeah. You're not going to get the arm fatigue and stuff like that of actually swinging the heads around, but it's still like a super well-built machine. It doesn't come out of registration, and it's a great piece of equipment, that's for sure.
Yeah, and let's talk about the irony that happened in this booth. Some say coincidence, but I actually think that I'm not going to overuse or irony, but we're the Burning Pallets Podcast. Mm-hmm. And do I sense a little brownness over on?
Yeah.
So you've burned a pallet before in your life, right?
Yesterday, yeah. Again,
Was that the first one?
No.
Okay,
I've got
good.
them on fire.
Yeah. Dude, you're a real printer.
Yeah.
If you caught them on real fire. Yeah.
I had the 4x2 was the wooden pallets, and
Oh, the wooden ones. Yeah. So you got the bubbling.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get the bubbling and then it broke through and cracked, and then the wood itself, you were to raw wood and it was black too, and charred?
Well, when I came in, it was on fire.
Oh, it was on fire.
Yeah.
So did it burn your flash up too?
No.
Those are robust. It's amazing, Well, they have to be because they're like 600 degrees
very
in there,
hot, right? Yeah. Of course.
But it's one of those things where you like I left. I had a little garage shop, even when I worked for Adidas, and I went in the house, and then I got distracted, and.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah. I went in the house and got distracted.
Yeah, so I actually, and what happens if you're a printer and you got the rotary press, manual rotary, is there's a place where it catches, right? And so when you're ready to print, you hover over one of the pallets and you keep going. And that's what gets you, where if you're setting up, you might put it like you have it now, where it's in between pallets, no harm, no foul.
Right.
So once you get in that production mode, if you're going to walk away, you have to kick it out, and that's what gets you.
Yep.
That's what gets you.
That's when the swing aways are nice.
Yeah. That automatically swing away.
Yeah. I burned one. We did a video series in December
for Christmas.
Like the Christmas video series,
oddball
whatever
stuff.
And we got distracted, and I was printing, and we started talking, and it didn't burn.
We could smell.
Well, you could smell it, but. I mean, you're always burning pallets.
That's why this is a perfect name. I mean, there's other podcasts and they have like clever names, and that's good. But this one.
But I mean, so back to the autos. I mean, 2019, 2024. I mean, that's awesome. Going 2 autos. You said the Sportsman first, and then the
Diamondback.
Diamondback, then the Rival.
Yep.
You haven't got the Rival yet.
No.
You've seen them at all the shows. M&R brings you to all these shows, and Any comparisons, any differences, anything you would want to say, because you work on the Diamondback all the time?
Yeah.
What are you excited about with the rival or versus the Diamondback?
Honestly, one of the things I'm most excited about is last year they had Supercolor had a competition for as fast as you could print 24 shirts. They timed you with transfers. So I actually won a Stampinator here last year, but I haven't used it at all because my current press is like a bottom up, and the new one is like top down, like heads down.
Yeah, the rival.
Which works better with the Stampinator. So I'm really excited to implement that because I live outside of Pittsburgh, so it's cold a lot. So doing fleece and stuff, the Stampinator is going to make my life so much easier for that like underbase. So I'm excited for that. Currently, my flash is I don't even know what it's called. But the new one is like the Chili D. It's called the Red Pepper. So I'm going to have like an actual quartz flash. I'm really excited about that.
Those are great. Yeah, they're great.
Less pallets burning.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited about that. And just overall, the speed. I guess, honestly, the thing I'm most excited about is I have one flash right now. So now I'm going to have two flashes, which is a huge difference because I'm either running revolver or a ton of wet on jobs that maybe should require another flash.
And does the rival, you were talking about this on yesterday or the day before, it indexes back and forth.
That print flash.
Yeah, I think they call it like the step back.
Step back. And that that's definitely huge. And revolver mode saves everybody. Mm-hmm. But the truth is like the bigger the press, the better.
Yep.
Because even if your average run is maybe like the average run is probably under 4 colors for most stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're printing other stuff, you have more colors. But when you have a press with a lot of open heads, that gives you the opportunity to have cooling stations, smoothing stations. So the more, the merrier. And when I ask a press operator, how many flashes are you going to do on this job? She's like, I'm using all 4 flashes.
Right.
But it's a 3 color. I don't care.
Right.
So the flashing always helps clean. You don't have to worry about ink pickup. So
opacity usually too.
Yeah, exactly. So our standard thing on a 14 station Challenger was the first head's the white because you got to manage it.
Right.
It's sucking up most of the ink, lower mesh.
Right.
Then we did a flash, and then we did a roller with the Teflon sheet. And that is a game changer. We started doing that years and years ago. I used to hide it from people because they were like, how do you get your prints so smooth? You just knock that down, that white. So I imagine when you get this new copperhead, right, in there, you're gonna your ability to print faster and the print quality, you're going to have a lot more options. Less wet on wet, which we all hate.
Yeah.
Some colors pick up worse than others.
Right, and randomly too. But I know that, like you said, like the smoothing screen, that's why I'm excited for the Stampinator.
Oh, yeah.
So, and it can be a flash too, so really with that I'll have 3 flashes, so. Yeah, that'll be great.
I can see that being like a game changer.
Huge.
It's very interesting that you got into this you wanted to start a brand, and a lot of people do that because we Ryan and I and the team at Texsource, we teach these classes.
Okay.
And I like to see where everybody's coming from, what they're trying to do.
Right.
When I tell people that you want a brand, like that's cool, go for it, have your dream. But what's going to happen is once you have all this equipment and you have friends and you have interest, people are going to come to you. You can print T-shirts.
Yep.
And so in the end, that can support your brand because you have more funds coming in, then you can afford to invest more.
It's probably why you're able to have your brand and donate and support good cause as well. So just off your point.
Yeah,
that's like the passion project that the moneymaker is the screen printing business. Yeah, for sure.
And that's the moneymaker on the screen printing side allows you to be able to support your passion and
absolutely
donate.
Yeah, and the fact that you are donating to a cause can be part of your story. Yep. And part of the reason why people are like, we like this guy. He's very compassionate about causes. So I think people like good people attach themselves to good causes.
Right.
What tape are you using?
Tape?
Yeah, like to tape your screen.
PMI?
Yeah. So that's what I'm getting into because we had PMI on Andrew. Yeah. Even I would have said anyways. So what they're doing is they're starting to do the whole I guess, passion projects and donating. So on every case of tape or during a certain 2-month period, every case of tape that's sold, there's a QR code on there that a printer can scan, and they will donate to 3 options.
Yeah, 1 of 3 costs.
You as a screen printer, can choose one of those 3 options, and they'll donate a toy to a hospital, donate a meal to somewhere overseas,
Nigeria or somewhere,
and then they'll do. Well, there's one other. Anyways,
wow,
the projects that people are trying to do and help.
That's great. Yeah, I didn't even know about that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So coming soon in the next week, 2 weeks, if you buy a case of tape, you might see a QR code on there that you can scan.
Yeah, and it's completely like, it isn't like one of these scammy things to like just try to get your information.
Yeah.
You will not be contacted by the,
Right.
It's just they're doing that, and they want people to participate so that they can just say like, yeah, I want to.
They just don't. They don't want They don't want you to see that code and say, all right, yeah, they're donating. They want you to be involved in that donation.
That's cool. Yeah, giving you the options of what to choose.
Yeah, and they'll
that.
show you like what percentage of people. So you can say like, oh, well, the kids are at 22%. They need a toy, So
Throw one in there.
yeah. So you're just like, but yeah, I mean that's a good, it's always a good thing that if we can give back to the community, because we all have things in our lives, like if we were rich beyond our wildest dreams, that we would say like, I'm going to take care of the like for me, like I know Robert, Ryan's dad, is about like veterans, because we're veterans, so we all have some sort of vested interest in giving a lift up to people, and that's a good thing about our industry.
Yeah.
So back on wrestling, you coach for high school, college?
High school, yeah.
High school. You wrestle. What college you wrestle for?
Washington and Jefferson College.
So what's your takedown move? I mean, everybody perfects one. So what's your move?
Probably like a head inside single. I'm quicker, so.
Okay, gosh, they didn't have that in the 80s. Ryan.
I mean, I've been coaching for so long, I'm pretty confident I can do any move now.
Yeah, did you perfect a move, Ryan?
Yeah, I was always taught you always have your 3. You got to have 3 moves. It's got to be ingrained in your brain from the bottom, on your bottom, on top, and then your 3 go-to takedown moves. I can't remember the exact names, but...
Do you want to demonstrate? You can take me down here on the floor.
Little mat.
Yeah, we have a mat.
I miss it, though. I miss wrestling. I never wrestled in college. I was just high school, middle school, all the way through. But it's something that kind of goes along with your structure of operating a business, donating, giving back. It just gives you that, I don't know what word I'm trying to say, but wrestling gives you structure-ish, I guess.
Yeah, like I attribute so much of my success to wrestling, 100%. Because you can't, like, the thing I love so much about the sport is you can't blame anybody else when you lose. Like, it's on you. So as a business owner, you have to be the same way. You can't say, my employee did this, my employee did that. It's on you. Like, you
that's a great analogy, though.
Yeah. And it's a lot of structure.
Sure. Because wrestling's a team sport, because in the end, the points add up, and at the end of the day, if more wrestlers, get more points, then your team wins.
Right.
But it's just you out there on that mat. Mm-hmm. And when I wrestled, until I was a freshman in high school, I got in a car accident, kind of wiped that out. But I was usually a victim, right, of the opponent across from me. However, hands down, I was never pinned, because they called me some sort of fish name, Flounder. They call me Flounder because if you got me on my back, I went ape shit. And it was so much that and I was JV. I wasn't a varsity wrestler, so like they match you up with people, and sometimes they're bigger than you because they just want, let the kid wrestle, and they get him out there. I was a nosebleeder. I'd get blood all over the guy. But I'm telling you, when I wrestled on the JV after the match was over and they're just sad, like, get out there, the people would gather around to watch Flounder because I almost let the guy get me on my back because it would become a show at that point because I just went ape shit.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, wrestling gives you structure. I mean, But anyways, I like it. I miss it. It's cool that you're teaching it. But I think my go-to was I was always the skinny guy. I was the 103 3 years in a row.
Wow.
But the second 2 years, I had to sweat, wear the trash bags.
Yep.
Not eat for 3 days or whatever. And they're be in class and spitting in a bottle the whole time. So, but I was always in the skinny class. I always just shoot really fast, and that would be my go-to. Straight to the ankle, shoulder into the little kneecap area. But whatever. I can't remember the names of everything. That was probably 15 years ago.
I would peg you as a crash double guy.
Yeah. There, at least in high school, like when I was in high school, there was always like the stud weight. And like when I was in high school, I don't know if they just build them differently, these days because we changed, but it was like the 132.
Yeah,
that was
so
like
I
the
wrestled
stud
135.
class.
Yeah.
Yeah. You always have like, but I always thought like there was a lot of times where like some of these beefed up, monsters.
Yeah.
And then you get like the like you talked about like your body structure, when you first got into it. Some of those guys, because there's a lot of leverage involved. So you would get these muscle guys, and then all of a sudden, like this dude that looks like he's just going to get waxed. He's just slithered around in there, and so there's the skill set of wrestling is, and that's why I wasn't very good, But try to pin me, you had a wild
Wilder.
It's like I said, it was legendary for the bloody noses, because if you looked at my nose wrong, and back then, they just let you go, you know. And it looked like we come out of it. It was a massacre sometimes.
Bloody nose, tampons in your nose.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, you know the wrestling trick. What they did is I had to take Vaseline and put it on the inside of my nose. That stops.
Interesting.
Yeah, that
we do nose
up.
plugs now. Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm.
Because of that?
I don't know.
Yeah. But back in the day, when you were in this position, it was just dripping on the guy, right? And they just let us go.
Oh.
They had to mop the mat up after
So how's your crew in high school? You guys.
This is like our best year. Yeah, we made the team tournament for the first time in like over 10 years, but we had a state finalist where I'm from, southwestern Pennsylvania, is literally the hotbed for wrestling. Like, if you look at the national finals or you look at the All-Americans every year, of like predominant number of those people come from our area is called the WIPIO, like Western Pennsylvania Inter-Athletic League or something like that. But that is like the epicenter of wrestling. Some of the most winningest wrestlers ever have come from where I'm from. And I'm from a very small school. Like, we graduate like 75 kids. And like I said, we had a state finalist last year. Nice. So yeah, and he was returning this year. So we had a second place and a fourth place last year. And this is their senior year this year. So they're going to better results.
Yeah.
One thing we didn't ask him about is...
Yeah, because we're in January right now, so you guys are getting into the finals right now.
Yeah, so postseason starts next month in February, and then our state tournament will be the weekend before Atlantic City trade show.
They had another thing called Super 32.
Yep, that's preseason.
Okay.
Yep, right before the season. And that's a really good... A lot of colleges are looking at that for recruiting. It's a really good look at kind of where kids are going to fall, their weight classes, and just, a lot of kids... especially in those 4 years, will hit huge growth spurts. So they may be, like the 103 pounders, which now is 106, but it changes all the time, I know. But they could be 106, and next year they're like 135, and you're just like, what happened there?
Yeah, a summer of protein.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And some of them grow 6 inches. You're like, whoa, they just turn into men overnight. It's wild.
Yeah, I think everybody in high school hit like, that one summer where they came back and everybody was like blown away.
Right.
I was like 4'11" in 8th grade and 5'6" when I came back.
Yeah, so 7 inches. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's... I don't know what happens. There's just a switch that changes everything. But one thing I wanted to touch on is, we have this new relationship with M&R becoming one of their newest dealers.
Right.
And, we're huge fans. We love this. But how did you get attached? Peter is obviously, like, everybody loves Peter Walsh.
Yeah, he's great.
And he's a huge, you can't describe the guy, but everybody loves this guy. But how did you get this relationship with M&R that they're bringing you here and that they want you to be a part of it?
So my story isn't the love story that it should sound like. I was like the bitter X at first. So I had the Chameleon, and I was looking for support, and I didn't have a very good response from them. So one of the shops that I followed, Dylan from Upstate Merch, they were doing the Blue Cruise, and Maggie was tagged in one of the photos as a customer specialist at M&R. So I reached out with her and just told my story of like, hey, this is what happened. I need help. How do I get it? And since then, I got the help that I needed. She helped me out. And then I went and did a factory tour, and I met everybody. I met Dennis, who's my salesman for where I'm at. He's out of New Jersey. And met everybody there and hit it off. And then I went to Shirt Lab in Chicago. And then afterwards, we went to like a dinner, and that's literally just how we connected. Just that relationship started there. And then they had me out for a trade show. It was Printing United in Vegas, and filmed some content there. At that dinner, we had talked about, I told him some of my needs, and I said I need a dryer, and my problem is, at the time, I didn't have access to natural gas, and I had single phase, so that's a little bit tough. I needed it, and I didn't need like a tiny dryer. You know, I was already there, so I needed something that could output a little bit more, and that's when they were launching the Copperhead Charge, which we can see from here.
Yeah. And you have that?
I do, yeah. So I was the first, I think maybe still, I don't know, but I was the first person in the world to have the single phase Copperhead Charge. So I beta tested that for them, answered any questions that people have had since.
It's a sleek looking dryer. It's sleek.
Oh,
it's
I
nice.
love it. Yeah, and it's for the footprint, the capability that it has is just amazing.
Have you tried discharge on it?
I haven't yet, but it is forced air, so I can. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great.
So
I can do water-based and discharge. Yeah, that was a huge thing.
We took the one from Printing United, the Charge. So at Texsource, we're doing a big classroom with all M&R equipment. We put that Charge dryer. I took it. Is New Year's, right before New Year's, a month ago, and installed it into a customer shop. That's all I have.
Yeah, no, it's really great. But how it started was I filmed the video there for it, just kind of telling my story of I'm a growing shop, these are my needs, and this is how it came about. Essentially, I'm going to test it, stay tuned, let's see how it works out for me. Yeah. Which I think is really neat that a company was willing to kind of put their neck out like that.
They do, a lot of that.
They do.
Beta testing,
right?
Which is good.
Yeah, it's getting that true life feedback, and that's why I'm even with when Dave Zimmer was here, I'm like, come up with a one screen small laser to screen, like do that.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Would that be sweet?
It would be. Yeah.
See. So Dave, if you're watching this, and I know you are,
you better be.
But Ryan, Ryan's got these blueprints where we are at Kings Mountain. We have our warehouse. We have this back building that we currently do our classrooms. When people come in, we do our classes. But this new, like on our little campus there, this new building has become open, and they're refurbishing it. And this thing, Ryan, tell us about the plans of this thing. It's going to be,
that could be a name.
What?
Like putting campus into the name.
So wait, where's
write
it
that
at?
down.
Right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so when they hit me with this, I'm going to be in Wonderland, but what's going to be there when it's all said and done?
I don't know. As much as we can get, we're going to fill obviously with autos and the manuals and the Unicoats,
and a Quattro.
We're going to get it all in there so we can. It'd be like an East Coast or East Coast side of a training facility, just like the three that are in Chicago. Everybody's trying to go to Chicago to put their training facilities and or in showrooms, and that's what we're going to do in North Carolina.
Nice. And a new podcast studio, which will be badass.
Yeah.
Because we obviously brought this on the road.
Back to Peter. He knows this guy's tall.
What?
Holy shit.
Yeah. Okay.
He threw me off.
It's like 9 foot tall.
Well, he's one of the giants in the industry. He's a titan.
Peter, like you said, Peter knows everybody. He's well known, but he doesn't cater. This is day 3 of talking, and I'm losing my words, but he knows how to interact with the younger group as well.
Yeah.
Instagram, social media. You guys are always on there, but Peter can associate with everybody, and it's...
He is, yeah. And the thing that I like most about him is he's open to suggestion and listening to what we have to say and kind of goofy ideas like the Halloween videos they do well. It's hard to not make everything look the same. I mean, they have, like, their brand is the color. So how do you make something look different when purposely you're trying to make everything look the same? So I think that's where we come in. We're not, in the office with them every day. So me and Bill, my videographer, we film stuff for them in the shop, and then like at these shows, we film some content, and it always does really well. We had a 37-second clip yesterday that within 5 hours had 23 hours of watch time. So
nice.
It does well.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get more content here, but we've done 20. Your podcast number 22.
Wow.
22.
Wow.
I picked up on that on the last show.
How long was this one so far?
31 minutes.
So most of the people we're talking to is between 30 and 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And Greg at Press Merch, he was.
I met him in October. He's a great guy.
Pretty united.
He's helped me a lot.
But all these podcasts are going a long time. So the 23 hours of runtime that you're talking about is what he's trying to get to, but you're stuck here at this table.
Yeah, because as soon as we have like a break, I'm just going to run around and do like a bunch of 1-minute TikToks and
that's a
upload
good idea,
them as
for
fast.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, because those were a hit last time, and I think that kind of spurred like, hey, bring your podcast here, and we're like, but it would be super cool when we get our new place if you came down there.
I would love to. Yeah,
we'll get with Peter and let him like work the details out.
Yeah, he would love to do that. Yeah,
sponsored by M&R, of course, because it's the M&R thing. But it would be cool to do some sort of collaboration.
For sure.
Maybe some like just crazy like mega production on the video side. That would be badass.
Yeah, we like to do fun stuff. If you watch my videos, I always do goofy stuff. In the first charge video, I think maybe this is what made him fall in love with me, but they kind of just said, just run with it and see what happens. So at the end, I did a backflip off of the dryer. So
nice. Oh, that's awesome.
Made some people watch. Yeah, just something different. And at Printing United this year in Atlanta, I was on top of the rival, sitting on top of it, and people were like, "What the hell?"
Yeah,
and I was up there flexing. So just doing fun stuff like that.
It's funny because like you see that stuff, and then like to know who you are, like, oh, that's guy, and you like put
put it all together.
Yeah, you put two and two together.
We went to there was 5 shops that went to. M&R hosted an ideation where we came in. It was called like a SWOT. And so you basically went over what they did really well and what they did bad. And again, being open to that, and we're sitting with Danny and Peter and all the executives, and they're open, and we're kind of trashing them, and it feels weird. You're like, I don't know if I should be trashing them right now, but the fact that they're even open to suggestion, I think, is what makes them so big in the industry, and the adaptability as well. Yeah. But in all of that, part of what we talked about was just fresh ideas and trying to kind of get away. Like, we love the corporate look of it and how well it does, but also we don't want it to be stuffy. You know what I mean? You don't want it to be intimidating. So doing more fun content like that.
And they're smart enough to know that they're not learning anything when you're just telling them how great their stuff is.
Of course, yeah.
And that's why, like I said, I always poke and scratch at that. LTS on the new DTF, and Marco's like, no, it's not going to work with CAD-Link, and that's a pain point for me, and I'm going to tell them, but it's because they're receptive to that. That lets me know that they don't want to just say, well, this is the way it is,
right.
So.
And it's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very huge.
Yeah.
That every company should adopt that policy.
I agree.
It's like, tell us what you like about us. We'll throw that in the trash because it helps us none.
Right.
But tell us like how we can improve. Brian does that. He does his, at the end of our classes, and I'm like, give me a 5 and I'll do your first 3 separations.
So the classes now, are you teaching people how to like manually print and auto print, or?
It's all manually printing.
Okay.
We have done some auto classes before, but mainly our classes are beginners. And then we have 2 classes. The 3-day, it's a 101. We teach people how to screen print. All hands on. They're doing it's repetition each day, just with a different kind of piece of equipment, or like a auto coater, or they're manually coating. They print each day, and then the second class we do, which is separate from that one, is like a specialty printing class, which is Mike's favorite. But we do teach them how to do water base, print with heat transfers, discharge. We do silicone in that class. It's a lot of specialty prints.
That's cool.
We just there's Peter there in the back.
I have to sign my contract for the press. That's what they're waiting on. So.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like get him off of there. We got some money to be made here.
Are you getting the one off the floor?
No, not that. I have to have single face, so everything that I need is always specially made.
Here,
okay.
I have the info. Do you have one of these?
No. What is?
Do you
that?
know what this is?
No.
Okay. These guys, I wear the shit out of something when I like something. You might have to talk to Umberto. I heard the rumor is he's got
it.
2 more.
I'm his only Facebook friend. He has one Facebook friend, and it's me.
Well, then you're going to get one of these. This is the fabled, infamous M&R pen.
Okay.
Right. So
I think I have a couple. I'm not even gonna lie. In my desk at home, I think I have like 4
used.
of them.
These are special. Only
I'm gonna lock them up. Yeah.
Yeah, with the ridges,
Yeah,
and they write
I've
really
seen it,
nice,
yeah.
and these conform to your, Okay,
Beautiful.
and
Yeah.
okay.
When he came on to Texsource a year and a half ago, whatever, he wouldn't stop talking about this pen, especially when he knew we were in the works with M&R. He's like, I got to get that pen. I don't know the deal.
I have one, and it's jacked up, like part of the foam's off of it, and I stole it from an installer because, it took 2 or 3 days to install all these autos, and he left it there, and I'm like, swipe,
Yeah.
It's a pen,
Not to you.
You can steal a pen and not feel bad, right? It's just like
He's
stealing.
still looking for it though.
In the old school days, lighters. You come home after a night of party, and if you had like 4 big lighters, different colors, you're like win-win, right?
Yeah, right. That's funny.
But anyways, a great story from where you started and how quick you grew. 2 autos.
Now is when it gets fun.
Yes,
It's been a grind. Now
you're going to stay.
Fun, yeah.
You're going to be busy all the time, and you might not make it back to a show.
No, I will.
No. These shows are fun. I mean, everyone loves coming to them day in and day out. It's a lot. It gets a little taxing sometimes, but
let's definitely collab on some videos.
100%.
And get M&R involved.
Absolutely.
I already have the picture of the first one. We're going to spoil it, but you're going to print a shirt and you're going to throw it at the screen, and it's going to hit me, and I'm going to be wearing the shirt.
I love it. Yeah, that's good. Good.
That'll be the first, but this will all be good for the whole M&R ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to keep as close to these guys as possible. I mean, we're here in Long Beach, because of M&R,
right?
And I want to keep the the train going.
Yep. But yeah,
absolutely.
Again, appreciate your time. The question on the wrestling: did you had to win state or something?
No, I never. No. I'm telling you, if you win states like where we're from, like you can, it's free ride wherever you want.
Yeah,
you got so many people there.
They give you $1 million bucks. He wouldn't have never got into screen printing.
That's like your shot to the Olympics or something. Yeah, it's very, very, very hard to win states in Pennsylvania. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah,
it's that whole upper Indiana wrestling was huge.
Yeah.
Ohio wrestling
Ohio's
was huge.
tough. New Jersey's
and it was
tough.
the tiny schools. Our school had state contenders.
Yeah.
And we were graduating 100 a class.
We have 75.
Yeah,
we had a state finalist last year. So.
But that's
crazy.
Yeah.
70.
How does
crazy.
that happen that these tiny schools, that's all they got? They have they don't have the 6'5" basketball stars?
I mean, it's tough because you're not getting your practice partners. You have to rely on the coaches sometimes to kind of just figure it out, because you're not getting the practice partners that those big schools are getting when they're 4 or 5 kids deep and they have 2 kids that are going to wrestle in the state finals. So it depends a lot on the coaching, I think, definitely, and then just what they put into it outside of it. Like our kids, they go to different clubs. That's how you have to get. You have to practice with better kids. That's what it is. So
yeah,
that's how you get better.
I think that's true in any sport.
And then me and the head coach, I'm the assistant coach. The head coach, he's mid-40s and he's still wrestling every day. So
on the mat, he's out there
every day.
Is he throwing the kids around, or are they trying to throw him around?
I mean, they're trying to kill him, but
they are.
Yeah, he's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be the wrestling podcast.
The wrestling podcast.
It's getting that way.
No,
you don't always get to talk to someone that wrestles and wrestled, and especially coming to a trade show in Long Beach. I mean,
It was a great sport, and
It is.
I'm like I said, I was happy just to be flounder and,
Yeah.
and notorious.
And I don't know how it works out, but this is like the only weekend that we don't have. Like we had 2 tournaments, like the past 2 weekends. We're off this weekend, and then we go right back into tournaments next weekend. So it just falls perfect.
It was fate. It was fate.
Honestly, yeah.
I would always remember just Thanksgiving, when Thanksgiving came around, it was like, all right, I can't eat anything.
Right. I tell people that all the time.
Yeah.
My first Thanksgiving was when I was 22.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Once you graduate, then you can start having Thanksgiving. And But you go to Thanksgiving dinner and you really don't eat, especially when you're stuck in weight.
No.
Because that next day or next week, or like 5 days later, you got a match.
Yeah,
Now,
you're competing,
I know this. We've carried this on too long, but I got to throw this in here. I think I might ask Ryan. He looked like I was crazy, so I'm trying to get I'm trying to verify I'm not insane. But the weigh-ins, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you get the other levels.
Yep.
High school level, they're like, yeah, he's close. Get him out there.
They're strict now. Honestly, you don't make weight, you're not wrestling. They'll bump you up.
Even at high school level.
Yeah, for sure.
The little high school level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
even,
Lord.
Even like youth now. Yeah.
There was a guy had like 20 pounds on me one time. They're like, put Flounder out there.
And maybe where I'm from
did
again,
that,
but
they did that on purpose.
Yeah. It was the entertainment value. I sold tickets, popcorn. But
speaking of, like a side note is, that's been a big thing too, that I've been able to help like with the company I've grown is we'll give away t-shirts, like 100 free t-shirts to the first 100 people just to pack the stands. And like this year, this is one of the first times that we've pulled out like all the bleachers just because it's gotten so full.
Yeah.
So I
was one-off, so special one of one shirt that you should do.
Yeah,
one
and then I'll sponsor the back.
One of 100.
Yep.
So I want to ask you, have you ever heard of or have you seen this trick? It was done in the 80s, whether it's pseudoscience or whatever. Okay. You go to weigh in and you got to hit 132.
Should I guess?
And
Cut your hair?
No,
okay.
no.
Okay.
You eat like a half of a banana.
Okay.
And you stand on your head. What? Wait a minute. Go with me here.
Okay.
And employ this.
Okay,
You're going to have the ability to try this.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
I need a science experiment from you.
Stand on your head.
Yes, and sometimes you didn't have to eat the banana.
Okay.
But you can lose about a quarter pound if you stand on your head, like up against the wall.
Yeah.
Do that for usually it was like 5-6 minutes, and have the scale right
6
there.
minutes?
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, that's the longer one, but you stand on it.
There's no
And then
way.
when you flip off, you run to the scale and get up there, and you know how you put your hands out like this, to weigh in?
What?
And we've had guys lose a quarter pound.
Oh, my
now,
God.
that was a trick that was old school from our wrestling coach who wrestled like in the 50s, right?
I've never heard this.
And then our whole school had this whole science. We went to the science teacher, and he explained why that worked.
He had an actual reason as to why it worked?
He did.
Wow.
It was something with gravity in the stomach, pulling up.
Wow.
Yeah, so so anybody that sees us out here, please tell me I just didn't make this up or I came from an alternate reality, because everybody looks at me like I'm crazy, but I guarantee you, like I could dig and find some sad sap Facebook friend that I friended that I knew back in high school, and he'd be like, yeah, the banana thing. It was a thing. We brought bananas for guys, but it was about a quarter pound, but it was stand on your head, and some guys would weigh in the buff, right? In the buff. Now maybe this is the 80s, and you got to at least have a pasty on or
you
whatever
have
they
to
call
wear
that.
a singlet now to weigh in. You have to.
Okay.
Yeah,
You mean weigh in naked?
Yeah.
Correct.
So buff naked. So yes, that was back in my day. If you weren't, you had to. All right. Well, Sam, thank you for coming on. That was a good conversation about everything M&R and wrestling, all the above. That was good. But thanks for taking the time to come on with us, and
we'll do it again.
Can't wait to see you in the future, and let's keep this.
Yeah.
Let's keep this train going. We got a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thanks.